Welcome back to Topify. We're thrilled to have you here again. Today we're counting down the top 10 greatest treasures still unfound. Throughout history, countless fortunes have vanished. Gold, jewels, and priceless artifacts that continue to capture our imagination. From sunken ships to secret vaults, these treasures are as mysterious as they are fascinating. And remember to like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Topify Saniya so you won't miss any of our incredible countdowns. Let's get started. 10. The Treasure of the Flor de la Mar. The Flor de la Mar was a Portuguese ship that sank off the coast of Sumatra in 1511, carrying immense treasures from the Sultanate of Malacca. This wasn't just any cargo ship, it was a floating vault of wealth. Rumors say the ship carried gold, jewels, and spices worth millions, along with precious artifacts looted from the conquered Sultanate. The ship was already old and worn when it set sail on its final voyage, making it vulnerable to the treacherous waters of the Malacca Strait. When a violent storm hit, the Flor de la Mar couldn't withstand the powerful waves. It broke apart and sank, taking its entire treasure with it to the ocean floor. The exact location of the wreck remains a mystery. Despite numerous expeditions over the centuries, using modern technology and underwater scanning equipment, the shipwreck and its riches have never been found. Some believe the treasure was scattered across a wide area by strong currents, while others think it lies buried under layers of sediment. 9. The Lost Fabergé Eggs. The Russian imperial family commissioned over 50 Fabergé eggs between 1885 and 1916, created by the House of Fabergé for the Russian Tsars. These weren't ordinary Easter eggs. They were masterpieces of jewelry and craftsmanship, made with gold, precious stones, and intricate mechanical surprises inside. Each egg was unique, often containing miniature portraits, working clocks, or tiny replicas of imperial landmarks. When the Russian Revolution erupted in 1917, the Romanov dynasty fell, and chaos swept through Russia. During this tumultuous period, several Fabergé eggs disappeared. Some were sold secretly by the Soviet government to raise funds, while others were stolen or hidden by fleeing aristocrats. Today we know the location of about 43 eggs, but several remain missing. These jeweled masterpieces are priceless. Individual eggs have sold for tens of millions of dollars at auction. One egg was even discovered by chance in 2014 at a scrap metal dealer in the United States, purchased for just a few $1,000s before its true identity was revealed. 8. Ase, the Treasure of Lima. In 1820, during Peru's fight for independence from Spanish rule, the Spanish colonial authorities found themselves in a desperate situation. As rebel forces closed in on Lima, they needed to protect an enormous fortune that had been accumulating in the city for centuries. This treasure reportedly included tons of gold and silver bars, jeweled ceremonial swords, golden religious artifacts from churches and cathedrals, and massive quantities of precious stones. The Spanish authorities made a fateful decision. They would transport the treasure by sea to Mexico for safekeeping. They loaded everything onto a ship captained by William Thompson, a British sea captain they believed they could trust. But greed proved too powerful. Once out at sea, Thompson and his crew murdered the Spanish guards and soldiers, threw their bodies overboard, and set sail for Cocos Island, a remote tropical island off the coast of Costa Rica where they planned to hide the treasure and return for it later. 7. The Amber Room. Known as the eighth wonder of the world, the Amber Room was one of the most spectacular treasures ever created. Originally constructed in Prussia in the early 1700s, this chamber was decorated entirely with panels of amber, fossilized tree resin that glowed golden in candlelight, backed with gold leaf and mirrors. The room contained approximately 6 tons of amber, along with precious stones and intricate carvings. It was so breathtaking that it was given as a diplomatic gift to Peter the Great of Russia in 1716, where it was installed in the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg. For over 200 years, the Amber Room dazzled visitors and became a symbol of Russian imperial grandeur. But when Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union during World War II, the treasure caught the attention of Adolf Hitler, who was obsessed with acquiring art and cultural treasures for his planned Führer Museum. 6. The Oak Island Treasure. For over 200 years, treasure hunters have been obsessed with Oak Island, a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada. The mystery began in 1795 when a teenager discovered a circular depression in the ground beneath an old oak tree. When he and his friends started digging, they found layers of oak logs placed at regular intervals. This discovery sparked centuries of excavation efforts. As digging continued, searchers found elaborate engineering, flood tunnels that would fill the pit with seawater whenever diggers got too deep, coconut fibers despite coconuts not being native to the region, and mysterious inscribed stones, Marie Antoinette's jewels, or even artifacts from the Knights Templar. If you're enjoying these incredible treasures, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Topify. Also, let us know in the comments which lost treasure fascinates you the most. 5. The Treasure of the San Miguel. The San Miguel was part of the Spanish treasure fleet that met disaster in 1715. Spain had established a vast empire across the Americas, and they regularly transported enormous quantities of gold, silver, and precious gems back to Europe. The 1715 fleet was carrying the accumulated wealth of several years: coins, gold bars, worked silver, emeralds from Colombia, and countless other treasures. On July 30th, 1715, a massive hurricane struck the fleet off the coast of Florida. 11 ships were destroyed, and over 1,000 lives were lost. The San Miguel was among them, going down with its vast cargo in the turbulent waters. The Spanish immediately organized salvage operations, recovering some of the treasure, but the majority remained on the ocean floor. 4. Captain Kidd's Lost Treasure. William Kidd, better known as Captain Kidd, is one of history's most famous pirates, though his story is more complex than typical pirate tales. Originally commissioned as a privateer by the British government to hunt pirates, Kidd eventually turned to piracy himself in the late 1690s. During his voyages across the Indian Ocean and Caribbean, he captured several ships and accumulated considerable wealth. When Kidd learned he was wanted for piracy, he reportedly buried treasure worth millions along the Caribbean and American coastline. 3. The Lost Dutchman's Gold Mine. The legend of the Lost Dutchman's gold mine is one of America's most enduring treasure mysteries. The story centers around Jacob Waltz, a German immigrant known as the Dutchman, a common American nickname for Germans at the time. In the 1870s and 1880s, Waltz would periodically appear in the Arizona settlements with incredibly rich gold ore, far purer than anything found in local mines. Waltz claimed his gold came from a rich mine hidden deep in the Superstition Mountains, a rugged and dangerous range east of Phoenix. The mountains were considered sacred by the Apache people, who warned outsiders to stay away. 2. The Treasure of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were a medieval Catholic military order founded in 1119 to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. Over 2 centuries, they became incredibly powerful and wealthy, establishing a network of fortifications across Europe and the Middle East. They developed an early banking system, managed vast estates, and allegedly amassed enormous treasures: gold, silver, religious artifacts, and possibly even sacred relics like pieces of the True Cross or the Ark of the Covenant. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, deeply in debt to the Templars and envious of their power, ordered their arrest on Friday the 13th, charging them with heresy and other crimes. 1. The Treasure of the Pharaohs. Ancient Egyptian tombs were designed to be eternal resting places for the dead, filled with everything the deceased would need in the afterlife. For pharaohs and high nobles, this meant incredible wealth: gold, jewels, sacred artifacts, furniture, weapons, and priceless works of art. The tomb of Tutankhamun, discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, gives us a glimpse of this splendor. Though Tut was a minor pharaoh who died young, his tomb contained over 5,000 objects, including his famous golden death mask, chariots, jewelry, and thrones. Imagine what tombs of the great pharaohs like Ramesses II or Khufu might contain. The Valley of the Kings, where pharaohs of the New Kingdom were buried, has been extensively explored, but Egyptologists believe many tombs remain undiscovered. Ancient tomb robbers plundered many burial sites, but they often couldn't carry everything. That concludes our countdown of the top 10 greatest treasures still unfound. These treasures may never be recovered, but their legends live on, inspiring adventurers around the world. Each one represents not just material wealth, but pieces of human history, stories of empires risen and fallen, of dreams and disasters, of mysteries that time has refused to solve. Don't forget, like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Topify for more amazing countdowns. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. And don't forget to tell us in the comments what topic you'd like us to cover next.